Well, on Capitol Hill today, Congress will hold a hearing on anti-Semitism on college campuses. Several universities are under review by the U.S. Department of Education following a wave of alleged acts of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia after the October 7th attack in Israel by Hamas. So I want to bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane now to talk a little bit more about this. So, Scott, let's just start with just which university presidents are going to be testifying, and what do we know about the incidents of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia that have been, that have been happening on campuses?
This is a unique hearing, Anne-Marie. You have the presidents of Harvard, MIT, and the University of Pennsylvania, all before that huge dais of dozens of House members to answer questions. They're doing this by invitation, not by subpoena. And the Republicans on this committee, the House Education and Workforce Committee, have been unambiguous with their concerns. They believe the universities have not done enough to crack down on threats and harassment against Jewish students. And there has been this growing wave of reports of threats and harassment fueled, boiling over by Islamophobia and by anti-Semitism on college campuses across the country. Two of those three schools, two Ivy League schools, the University of Pennsylvania and Harvard, are both among the many across the country now under U.S. Department of Education review for some of the alleged incidents that occurred on campuses. They'll all have to answer for what's been done since those incidents to protect the students, to make them feel less threatened. But here's the thing, Anne-Marie, and there's really no way of getting around this. You're taking a uniquely combustible issue, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, and putting it into a combustible place, the U.S. House of Representatives. I would expect a number of incidents of yelling, crosstalk, and a disjointed hearing by two sides of the Congress in the U.S. House who've been at war with each other politically.
Well, you pretty much answered my next question, which was going to be how fiery can we expect this to be? So we can expect it to be fiery. I think both Democrats and Republicans agree that anti-Semitism is terrible, that there's no place for anti-Semitism or Islamophobia on any of these campuses. But do they agree on the steps that need to be taken? And just, often what we see with these hearings, Scott, as you know, there's kind of like a series of points that one side wants to get across and another series of points, and they rarely overlap, and there's rarely agreement.
They're both going to touch on one issue from different perspectives. I've talked to a number of members of this committee, this House Education and Workforce Committee, and here's the sense I'm getting. The Republicans on the panel are going to argue there's an asymmetry, a difference, almost a hypocrisy to how universities handle incidents of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. So the Republicans will argue that the universities go too hard on those on one side and not on the other. Democrats may make a reciprocal argument about an asymmetry that exists on college campuses. So we're going to hear a lot in the contrasts of how universities handle different types of incidents involving students of different faiths. But to get an argument through in a congressional hearing is like trying to walk in quicksand, because there's interruptions, there's gavels, there's time limits. Each side, each party gets alternating turns. So it's hard to stay on task and on focus. It's not a great place to investigate and unearth truths.
When I heard about this, I thought to myself, I hope this is just not performative, and that there actually is, a desire to get down to get down to the causes and effects and what we can do about it. But I have to say, I'm not holding out hope. I think, I'm not holding out hope. But we'll see. Fingers crossed. Scott, thank you very much.